Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel, man. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, right? Stopping them from rewriting the history, y'all. Holding these guys to a standard, man. And in this video, man, I want to touch on something that I thought about earlier today, man, doing this video earlier, and it's on LeBron James and how he never established a culture, a quote-unquote culture, right? And we often think about his time in Miami, and we think about the Heat culture, right? They'll often refer to the Heat culture, right? It's like a mindset, right? An attitude. It's a way of life, so to speak, for the way that they run their organization from the top to bottom, guys. It goes from the top to the bottom. Right? A culture or the way you run things like that is from top to bottom. Remember, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So everyone has to be on the same page, man. It don't matter if it's the lowest guy on the pole or the CEO, the president of the corporation, whatever it is. Everyone must be on the same page, man. That's a culture. That's how you establish an identity. And LeBron James never established that on any team that he went to, any franchise, man. And we're going to talk about it in this video, guys. I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world. Everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all the support, for real, guys. It means a lot, guys. I am truly, truly humbled, like I said, by your comments, you guys sharing your stories with me, you guys emailing and reaching out to me, guys. It means a lot. Like I said, don't be afraid to reach out to me and request something of me. Like I told you, I do everything off my phone, guys. I don't have access to a computer and things like that regularly at my disposal. So forgive me if I do not respond to you or if I do not, do a request. I try to always go back and look through certain things, and so forgive me, guys, but I appreciate everything. Thank you very much. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, man, like I said, I was doing that video this morning, man. And once again, I wasn't planning on doing this video, this particular video. But when I was doing that video and I talked about the culture, and it made me think about LeBron James and how he's never established a quote-unquote a culture, no matter where he went. He never established a culture, a winning attitude, a winning culture, any franchise that he's been to. That's been part of the knock on LeBron James. That's been part of, like, I feel like, to me, something that separates him from some of the other all-time greats. He never really, when we think about dynasties, people say, oh, he never had a dynasty. And yes, that's true. But I'm talking about a culture, a mindset, like I said, a way of life, a way of thinking that goes from the top of the bottom, man. Like I said, all the way to the last guy on the bench, to the star player, all the way to the owner of the team, all the way down to the lowest person, the towel boy. You know what I'm saying? The people who work in the stadiums, the way of life, a culture. LeBron James never established a culture. And when you compare him to some of the all-time legends, especially Michael Jordan, he doesn't measure up. Michael Jordan established an identity for the Chicago Bulls, a culture there, a winning attitude. This is part of the reason why in 1994, when Michael Jordan left, the Bulls were still successful to a certain degree, because Michael Jordan left a lasting culture there. That was the Bulls' culture. They've lost sight of that over the years. We know that the Bulls have been pretty much irrelevant since Michael Jordan left. Yeah, they had a little run there with Derrick Rose, but they've never been really irrelevant since. The culture's never been there again. It's disappeared. But Michael Jordan established that winning attitude, that winning culture there, the mentality, right? I told you, he held the standard there, the way they were going to practice, right? How hard they were going to go and practice. Come on, man. How many times have you heard these guys say, yo, practice was harder than the game sometimes? Michael Jordan was going crazy on us. He was riding with the second unit, going against the first string guys. Riding these guys in practice, getting them to pay attention and focus, listen to the game plan, right? Understand what they were trying to get accomplished. This all goes to Michael Jordan establishing a culture on the Chicago Bulls. Remember, they didn't want Michael Jordan to come back in '86. Hey, Michael, why don't you sit it out? And Michael Jordan was like, no, man. Remember that story they told about the pills? They said, oh, you could take the pill and, one of these pills would kill you, and one of them would they would heal you. And Michael Jordan was like, yeah, well, how bad's the pain I'm dealing with here? He don't care. He want to compete. He wants to be out there. That's him establishing a culture, a mindset, a winning mentality. And Jerry Reinsdorf, still to this day, he's a moron. He never understood that. He's a businessman. He's not a competitor like that. He might be a competitor as far as business goes, but he doesn't understand what Michael Jordan was trying to establish, the winning mentality. These guys only care about money. They don't care about the mindset. right? And that's what Michael Jordan was always talking about, the winning mentality, developing a culture there. This is why the culture has been gone since Michael Jordan left. Reinsdorf ain't keep that culture going. He decided to bet on Jerry Krause instead of Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson, the guys who had established that culture. And remember, Michael Jordan was there the longest. He was the senior member. This is why he felt that way. This is why he felt like the big brother to the other guys, the Scottie Pippens, the Horace Grants. Even with someone like a Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan was there from the start. So when we talk about the culture, the winning mentality, that's what Michael Jordan established on the Chicago Bulls. We think about someone like a Larry Bird coming into the Celtics, right? And keeping the winning mentality going, the winning culture going there. There was no fall off. Right? He brought them back to relevancy. Remember, they weren't good when Larry Bird got there the year before he got there. And all of a sudden, Larry Bird brought back that winning culture, that winning mentality, right? The confidence, the idea that, you know what? We have this guy. We can win. We can be good. We're going to follow this guy. And Larry Bird led by example, so everyone followed him, right? The winning mentality, right? Leading guys like McHale, right? Bringing in guys like Robert Parrish and showing them the way. Robert Parrish never won before he came to the Celtics. And all of a sudden now, he's part of a winning culture, a winning franchise. The mentality was there because of the attitude, the demeanor of a Larry Bird, right? You think about Magic Johnson coming to the Lakers and immediately impacting them as far as winning goes, right? All of a sudden now, the mentality changes, the confidence, the idea. Oh my God, we have a guy here that can lead us, a true floor general that we'll all follow. He had the charisma, the personality to galvanize the people around him. Right? Make it easier for you to be successful on the basketball court. That was what Magic Johnson had. You know, Bill Russell. We think about some of these players. Tim Duncan. You establish a culture there. A winning mentality. The way things are going to get done. You're going to practice a certain way. You're going to hold and play to a certain standard. You're going to show up to work. You're going to give the effort. We're not going to lollygag and half-ass things. There's going to be a standard there from the top to the bottom. That's a culture. Michael Jordan was able to establish this winning culture. Like I said, even though the owner and the GM, they were never on the same page. And these guys, they never established that. They were never on board with that. They never were. When you think about the San Antonio Spurs, for example, with Tim Duncan, I'm talking about establishing a culture. We have to think when David Robinson was there in the 90s, they didn't have a Greg Popovich there, right? Greg Popovich came later on, late in David Robinson's career. And he came and started as like an executive, right? And then he came and became the main guy there. And all of a sudden now you had a head coach and the main star player that were on the same page, right? Same thing like a Michael Jordan and a Phil Jackson. They were on the same page, right? So that helped the San Antonio Spurs have that identity and establish that culture there. The general manager, the owner, they were all on the same page. They were all about winning. It was about winning. It wasn't about the money. It was about the winning. These guys, Jerry Reinsdorf, he's about money. Wasn't about the winning for him. Like I told you, some of these guys, the New York Knicks owner Dolan, he don't care about winning. He's only about the money. These guys are businessmen first, right? They were never competitive athletes. They don't care about the competition aspect, what it means to win, and win the right way. When you think about LeBron James, guys, what culture did he establish? Did he establish a culture in Cleveland? No, he didn't. That's what we talk about. He never established that culture there. Despite what they want to say about the ownership there or people not helping him and them not doing anything for him, which is a lie. Yeah, is Dan Gilbert the greatest owner in team sports? No, he wasn't, but he wasn't the worst owner either, man. There are worse owners, guys. And there are guys just as bad, right? And once again, there's no excuses. LeBron James never established a winning culture because LeBron James always made excuses. He always looked for an excuse. There was always someone else to be blamed. That's not establishing a culture. You're not establishing any accountability. You must have accountability. There must be accountability. Because once again, in order for people to follow you from the bottom to the top, if the top people have no accountability, how the hell are the people on the bottom supposed to respect you and look up to you and follow your lead? Your leaders did not take accountability, so why should they take accountability? The person in charge, the person at the top, should have the most accountability. That's how it should work. Michael Jordan took all the blame. He took most of the accountability. Now LeBron James. It only works in reverse for him. They blame everything on the role players for LeBron James. They take most of the blame. But now LeBron James, he won't take most of the blame. This is, once again, you're not establishing a culture, an identity, a winning mentality. That's not winning mentality, LeBron James. So he didn't establish that in Cleveland, right? He walked off after the 2010 loss. right? Always blaming teammates, always showing poor sportsmanship, poor body language from LeBron James early on in his career, flopping around early in his career. Not establishing that identity, that culture, right? Not practicing hard, pushing his teammates, trying to make them better, galvanizing them. No, instead they're getting rid of coaches, they're trading players, but then LeBron James fans will say they didn't help him. They had to trade all his teammates and fire these coaches because LeBron James can't fit in the system. But he's establishing a culture there? No, he's not. You're not playing winning basketball. You're not helping your teammates help you. And then he goes to Miami, and once again, they have a culture established there. LeBron James in Miami did nothing for the Miami Heat's culture. He didn't. Listen, guys, Pat Riley went to the Miami Heat, I believe, in the 1995 NBA season and 1996 NBA season, one of those years. I can't remember, 95, 96, I want to say. And he immediately had an impact on the Miami Heat. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals in 1997, guys. The Eastern Conference Finals 1997. They immediately had an impact on them, coaching them. Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, Dan Marley, right? Some of these players on that team, they were a very formidable team, won 60 games. That was the beginning of the Heat establishing a culture there with Pat Riley. That was the beginning of it, guys. That was the beginning of it. The Heat culture was there way before LeBron James, guys. The toughness of the Miami Heat, like I said, the way that they established. Remember the rivalry they had with the Knicks, the rivalry they had with the Pacers, the Bulls. There were rivalries there, man. And like I said, the Heat were a formidable team. Way before LeBron James got there. Once again, let's not forget, the Miami Heat won an NBA championship in 2006. LeBron James was nowhere around that team, nowhere near that team. The Miami Heat, once again, establishing a culture, an identity, way before LeBron James got there. Way before that. LeBron James did not establish anything in Miami. And once again, he did not add to the Miami Heat culture there. Because he had a problem with that. That was part of the reason. If LeBron James really respected winning, the mentality of winners, being like I said, being pushed by an organization, right? People who are making you practice, holding you to a standard, wanting you to be better. If he really valued that stuff, then he wouldn't have left. He would have stayed in Miami. That would have helped his career. It would have helped his overall game. And he would have been respected a lot more. Not as much. He would have been respected more, though. He still would have lost the respect for the way he went about his business. But it would have been better than him going back to Cleveland and bouncing to L.A. He would have had a rounded game, I believe, if he stayed in Miami and continued to learn. But LeBron James didn't want to do that. He didn't want to practice hard. He didn't want to work on his game. He didn't want to play in his system. Right? He didn't want that coach. He wanted to be in charge of everything. He didn't want to be part of that culture. And then he goes back to Cleveland. Did he establish any culture in Cleveland? No, he won one championship. That's not establishing a winning attitude. You had to form a super team to do that. You couldn't ingratiate Kyrie Irving. You couldn't make it work more than 3 seasons. And then you left again to the 4th season. It's an absolute joke, man. You didn't establish nothing there. You didn't stay. You didn't finish out all your years. You could have been playing in Cleveland all these years, establishing a culture there, or trying to, a winning mentality, an attitude, an identity, any of these things. Try to ingratiate some of the players. Try to bring up the next group of Cleveland Cavaliers stars. None of this stuff. None of it. LeBron James never developed a culture anyway he went. Now, let's think about the Los Angeles Lakers now briefly. Has LeBron James, has he brought any culture, or winning culture, or winning mentality, any of this stuff to the Los Angeles Lakers? They were already known as an all-time great franchise. They had already won all these championships. They had many more great dynasties during the Lakers franchise's history, man. LeBron James has brought no dynasty to the Lakers. Once again, he didn't bring a culture here, an identity, none of this stuff. All he brought was a lot of nonsense, a lot of BS, right? And a lot of, like I said, a lot of people scratching their heads. A lot of trades, a lot of all this stuff that they've done. Firing coaches, blaming the teammates, right? Tweeting at the fans, deleting tweets, flopping around on defense, load managing on the fans of L.A. Supposed to show up to work, LeBron James ain't there. This is what he brought to L.A. This is the culture he brought there. Bunch of guys crying and moaning all the time. It's a joke. You look at, you watch a Los Angeles Lakers game, everyone's pounding and moaning all the time. Everyone got their shoulders shrugged, their palms up. This is what LeBron James brought to the Lakers. That's the culture he brought. That's the attitude LeBron James brought. A bunch of flopping around by a bunch of soft, feminine clowns. Right? He brought a bunch of guys wearing a bunch of weird outfits to these games. That's what he brought for the Los Angeles Lakers franchise. That's the culture he brought in. A bunch of weirdos who only play for the money and the fame. Ain't out there giving no effort on defense. Ain't showing up to work for the fans. Ain't giving that effort. Right? Once again, not sacrificing for his teammates, still playing for the stats. Won't take a damn pay cut. LeBron James, no culture he brought to LA. He brought no winning mentality, no attitude, none of this stuff, man. No standard, none of this stuff. Where's the standard to uphold? There's no standard. The Los Angeles Lakers, I told you, they haven't finished above 7th place, guys, since LeBron James has been there, other than the bubble season. He's been there, what, 6 seasons? They finished 7th or worse, guys, every season. 7th or worse? With all the talent they've had on that roster? Remember, he told us to keep that same energy. And they couldn't even make the play-in. But they'll try talk about LeBron James this and LeBron James that. Never established a culture. Never a winning culture anywhere LeBron James went, guys. Those are the facts, man. You guys know the deal. When you talk about Michael Jordan and some of the other all-time great players, they established cultures. Kobe Bryant, he didn't establish a culture in L.A. with Shaquille O'Neal. And then, like I said, later on, he kept that same winning mentality. The same attitude. The culture was still there. So, yes, they had some down years in between when Shaq left. You're losing one of the all-time great players. But they were still able to stay relevant to a degree where they were able to rise again. They didn't fall off into purgatory. They were able to rise again and win back-to-back titles, going to 3 straight NBA finals. Because the winning mentality was there, because Kobe Bryant kept that mentality. He kept the attitude. Those are the facts, guys. I mean, not only that, don't forget, you lost Shaquille O'Neal, you lost some other players, and you lost Phil Jackson. He left too. So once again, that goes to the culture. That Phil Jackson, they established the 3-peat Lakers, all that was there in place. And then you lost Shaquille O'Neal and Phil Jackson. So it took a little bit of hit, but Kobe Bryant was still there. The mentality was still there, guys. The winning mentality. The culture. This is what Kevin Durant, that's why he wanted to join the Warriors. He wanted to go join their culture, their winning mentality over there. The way they were doing things, the way the organization was run from top to bottom. Right? Where's Kevin Durant? Did he establish a winning mentality, a winning culture in OKC? He left them. And he left them to blame Westbrook. But that's why he went to the Warriors. He liked their style of play. That goes to their culture, their style of play. The way that they did things over there. That's why LeBron James will never be like Michael Jordan, guys. Never established that culture like Michael Jordan did. Remember, Michael Jordan was coachable. He allowed Phil Jackson to bring in the triangle. He allowed his teammates to be successful, to play their roles. But he also held them to the standard in practice. He didn't let them lollygag. So people will say, no, Michael Jordan wasn't a nice guy. Yes, that's once again Michael Jordan, developing the culture. That's how Michael Jordan developed a winning mentality, a winning culture during his time with the Chicago Bulls, even though the owner was more concerned with money and all this other nonsense. Right? He was more concerned with salary cap issues and not paying guys a certain amount of money. He was only concerned about the money. He didn't value the winning. He didn't value what the money that they were getting was coming from the winning. You'll get money from the winning. You have to win. This is why Scottie Pippen is remembered the way he is right now, because of all the winning he did with Michael Jordan. If the Bulls won 1 championship, no one would be talking about Scottie Pippen this way. Right? Michael Jordan would still be an all-time great player, but Scottie Pippen may not be as recognized as he is if the Bulls only won 2 championships. Let's say they went to 2 finals and were 2-0. Scottie Pippen, having those 6 championships on his resume is a boost for him. The winning will help you get paid, will give you the recognition, the stardom. Right? That's what helps the Chicago Bulls sell tickets. Michael Jordan there, box office. Jerry Reinsdorf more concerned about money, not the winning. The winning, guys. It's the winning. It's the winning, the winning, the winning. That's what Michael Jordan was about, man. He established that culture in the Chicago Bulls, man. A winning mentality. Pushing these guys in practice was all about winning. He wasn't pushing them so he could make more money. He wanted to push them so they could win. He wanted to be remembered as a winner. LeBron James don't care about winning. He cares about money and the fame. So why would he care about pushing these guys in practice? He don't give a damn. He just wants to sign his contracts. He just wants to be able to point to his stats and be, yo, I average 25 points, man. You guys got to pay me max money, man. I'm still out here at a high level. No, you're not, dude. You haven't played defense in about 10 years. So wake me up when LeBron James makes an all-defensive team. Wake me up. Wake me up when LeBron James wins an MVP. Man, he won an MVP since he was 30. In his 30s. Dude's about to be 40 next season. Exposed. You guys know the deal, man. These are the facts. LeBron James never established a culture anywhere he went, man. No culture for LeBron James. any organization he went. Like I said, the only organization he went to that has a culture was established before LeBron James got there. Dwayne Wade had more to do with the Miami Heat culture than LeBron James ever did. Guys like Udonis Haslem had more to do with the Miami Heat culture than LeBron James ever did. Guys like Alonzo Mourning have more to do with the Miami Heat culture than LeBron James ever did. Guys like Pat Riley have more to do with that than Tim Hardaway's. Right? The guys that were there, putting in the time, giving the effort on that team. Like I said, falling in line, understanding. LeBron James, he didn't want to do that. So he tried to lead them dudes high and dry after he promised not 6, 7, 8, 9, all the nonsense. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.